Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today
Uh,
into AI and research integrity.
okay.
And we've got this really interesting report
Oops.
from Wiley,
Oh, wow.
the academic publishing giant.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating stuff. We're going to be talking about how AI can
Right.
improve research, but also how some people are using it
Yeah.
to create fake research papers.
Oh, wow.
And then also how Wiley is using AI to fight back against that.
Huh. That's interesting.
Pretty wild stuff, and you know this matters to all of us because
Very
good
cool.
research leads to new medicines and
Right.
better
Well,
technology and just a
huh.
better understanding of the world.
Totally.
It's,
It's amazing how AI is transforming research.
yeah,
On the one hand, it's like having this
right.
superpowered research assistant, right?
Right.
Imagine having AI that can just
Yeah.
sift through all this data,
Yeah.
personalize your reading list, and even come up with new research questions.
Yeah, like shrink my to-read list. Exactly.
I would love that.
But as with any powerful tool,
Yeah.
there's always that risk of misuse, right?
Right. Of course. Yeah.
And that's where things get kind of unnerving.
Okay.
Because the same AI that can be used to improve research can also be used to
Yeah.
generate these really convincing fake research papers.
Oh, wow.
Like, we're talking about paper mills here.
Okay, paper mills, what are those?
Yeah, these are like factories that are just churning out
Really?
bogus research.
For profit.
Yeah, for profit. It's crazy.
So anyone could just buy a research paper.
Essentially, yeah.
It seems like it would completely undermine
It totally does.
the whole point of scientific publishing.
It undermines the whole system.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
way bigger than you might think.
Yeah.
Like a recent study found that
Right.
paper mill retractions, so that's when a paper is withdrawn because it's fake,
Okay.
accounted for 22% of all retractions
Wow.
between 2004 and 2022.
That's a lot.
That's huge. That's a huge portion of the scientific record potentially compromised.
Yeah, potentially compromised.
Okay, so how do these paper mills even work?
Right.
Are they just hiring people to write fake papers?
It's a little more sophisticated than that.
Okay.
They take advantage of the fact that academics
Right.
have a ton of pressure to publish.
Yeah, publish or perish. Right.
Exactly. Publish or perish. And they offer this tempting shortcut.
Okay.
A pre-written,
Yeah.
often completely nonsensical research paper
Really?
ready to go.
Wow.
And they use technology to cover their tracks,
Oh, wow.
making it even harder to detect these fraudulent papers.
So it's like academic ghostwriting, but on a much larger scale.
Exactly. And much more damaging.
Yeah, and much more damage.
Undermines the whole foundation of research.
Right.
The trust that we place in peer review and the validity of the published findings.
This sounds like a real challenge for publishers like Wiley.
Oh, it's a huge challenge for publishers like Wiley.
Yeah.
In fact, they had firsthand experience with this.
Really?
When Hindawi,
Okay.
which is a Wiley subsidiary,
Okay.
uncovered a network of compromised guest editors
Wow.
who were manipulating the peer review process to sneak these fake papers in.
That's crazy. So how are they fighting back against this?
Well, Wiley has a big advantage.
Okay.
They've got this massive database
Right.
of real research papers.
Uh-huh.
So they've used all that data to train AI models to spot the subtle signs of these fake research papers.
No, that's cool. So they're using AI to fight AI.
Exactly, fighting fire with fire.
What kind of tools have they come up with?
Well, one that I think is super interesting
Yeah.
is Gen AI generated content detection.
Okay.
You've probably heard of Chat GPT
Oh, yeah.
and these other AI models that can generate human-like text.
Those are kind of scary, but really interesting.
They are scary, right?
Yeah.
And they're only getting more sophisticated.
Yeah, I could see how people could use that to create fake research.
And that's exactly what people are trying to do.
Yeah.
But Wiley's tool is designed to catch that,
Oh, wow.
even if it's edited or paraphrased.
So they're like one step ahead of the game?
They're trying to stay ahead of the game,
Okay.
constantly updating these tools.
Pretty cool.
Another one they have is problematic phrase recognition.
Oh, interesting.
And this one is designed to flag those clunky phrases that you often find in paper mill papers.
So it's like a linguistic fingerprint.
Exactly. A linguistic fingerprint
That gives it away.
gives it away.
Okay.
They also have researcher identity verification
Oh, wow.
that uses data to kind of connect the dots and spot these potential bad actors.
Oh, okay.
So it analyzes email addresses and affiliations and publication histories to see if anything's suspicious.
So if someone's using a fake email address or claiming to be
Yeah, exactly.
from an institution they're not at?
This tool would probably flag it.
That's like having a digital detective working behind the scenes.
It really is. It's amazing.
That's cool.
And these tools are already making a difference.
Okay.
For journals that are using these AI-powered workflows,
Okay.
10 to 13% of submissions flag at least one signal.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
That needs further human review.
Yeah, so they're potentially stopping
Yeah.
hundreds, if not thousands, of fake papers from even entering the peer review process
Okay.
every month.
That's awesome. So they're constantly developing new tools to stay ahead of the curve.
They are, yeah.
Like what?
Well, they've got things like reference quality checks to make sure the sources are actually legitimate,
Right.
and image manipulation detection to make sure that the images
Okay.
and data haven't been doctored.
Wow, it's like they're building a fortress around the
A fortress around the
scientific process.
scientific process, yeah.
That's really cool.
But it's not just about having the tools, right? It's about using them responsibly.
Okay, that makes sense. What's Wiley's philosophy when it comes to
Right.
using AI for research integrity?
Well, one of their core beliefs is that AI should be used transparently.
Okay.
So they're open about how their tools work,
Okay.
the data they use, the algorithms they employ.
That's really important for building trust, especially when you're talking about
It is, absolutely.
something as sensitive as research integrity.
Yeah.
So it's good that they're doing that.
Yeah. They also emphasize a human-in-the-loop approach.
Okay.
So they really see AI as a tool to assist humans in decision-making,
Okay.
not replace it entirely.
So it's not about letting the machines take over.
Right.
It's about using them to empower
Exactly, to empower human decision-making.
human decision-making. That's good.
Yeah. And they're not working in isolation.
Okay.
They're collaborating with the research community,
Okay.
working with groups like the STM Association's Integrity Hub and the Committee on Publication Ethics
Oh,
to establish those best practices
That's great.
and standards for using AI in research integrity.
It sounds like they're really taking a leadership role in
Absolutely.
addressing this challenge.
Yeah.
But why should, like, someone who's not a scientist care about how a publisher uses AI?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And we're going to be exploring that as we continue this deep dive.
Okay.
But think about it this way.
Yeah.
The integrity of scientific research impacts everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the medical treatments we have,
Yeah.
environmental policies, technological advancements, our understanding of the world
Yeah.
all rests on that foundation of trustworthy scientific knowledge.
So if that foundation is compromised by fraudulent research, the consequences can be pretty widespread.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's why Wiley's work is so important.
Okay.
They're not just protecting the integrity of scientific publishing.
Right.
They're helping to safeguard the knowledge that our society is built on.
And they're doing it in a way that's ethical and transparent and collaborative. Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the double-edged sword of AI in research, the rise of paper mills, Wiley's efforts to combat these threats.
Right.
But we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, just scratch the surface.
There's so much more to explore, so stay with us as we continue
Absolutely.
our deep dive into AI and research integrity.
Awesome.
Yeah, see you soon.
See you soon. So, welcome back.
Okay.
Before we went deeper into Wiley's work, you were asking, like, why does all this even matter to someone who isn't, like, a scientist?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the, like, details and the tech.
Right.
But I'm really curious about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like, how does the integrity of research impact our daily lives?
That's a great question. It's one that's more relevant than ever, I think.
Okay.
You know, think about the decisions you make every day.
Right.
Big or small. Everything from the food you eat to the medications you take, the products you buy, you know, even who you vote for.
Right.
A lot of that comes down to trusting the information we're given, right? And a lot of that information, especially when it comes to, like, health and tech and the environment, is based on research, scientific research.
Is ultimately based on research.
Yeah.
So when that foundation of research is compromised, it can have, like, a ripple effect.
Okay.
Throughout society, we see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Misinformation spreading like wildfire, eroding trust in institutions, making it harder to make sound decisions.
It's like we're living in a post-truth era.
It really is. It's a little scary.
It's really scary. It's hard to tell what's real.
Exactly.
What's not.
Yeah.
And that's why this work that Wiley's doing is so important.
I completely agree.
They're not just protecting scientific publishing.
Right.
They're helping to safeguard the knowledge that our society is built on. They really are. It's like they're guardians of truth.
Yeah.
In this world where truth is constantly being challenged.
That's a good way to put it.
Right. And that's why this whole discussion is so important.
Right.
We need to be talking about these things.
Yeah.
Raising awareness about the importance of research integrity, supporting those who are working to protect it.
So what can we do? What are some solutions beyond just relying on publishers to catch the bad guys?
Well, one of the most important things, I think, is fostering a culture of integrity within the research community itself.
What do you mean by that?
So it's about shifting the focus from quantity to quality. Right now, there's so much pressure on academics to publish that it can create an environment where people are tempted to cut corners or, engage in outright fraud.
Yeah. Publish or perish, right?
Exactly. Publish or perish.
It's kind of...
We need to change that culture.
Yeah.
We need to reward researchers for producing high-quality work.
Right.
Not just for racking up publications.
Okay, so look beyond just the number of papers.
Look beyond the numbers. Really dig into the quality of their work. Value transparency, reproducibility, collaboration. Promote mentorship and training programs that really emphasize ethical research practices.
Yeah, and what about the role of institutions? Like, what can universities and research labs do to promote integrity?
Institutions plays a huge role here. They need to have clear policies in place to address, research misconduct. And they need to provide support for researchers who might be facing pressure to engage in these practices.
So create a culture of accountability.
Exactly. A culture of accountability where everyone is responsible for upholding those standards.
So that includes journals and publishers.
It includes journals and publishers. They have a responsibility to ensure that the research they publish is rigorous.
So it sounds like Wiley's approach is a good model then.
I think Wiley's approach is a fantastic model.
Using AI responsibly. Collaborating.
And transparently,
Yeah, and emphasizing human oversight.
Human oversight.
Yeah.
It's a great example for others to follow.
But it's not just about publishers and institutions, right?
It's not just about them.
Like, we all have a role to play.
We all have a role to play. Absolutely. Like, as consumers of information, we need to be critical thinkers. We need to question our sources. Evaluate the evidence and be wary of those claims that seem too good to be true.
So don't just blindly accept everything we read.
Don't blindly accept it. Question it. Be critical. Think for yourselves.
And you don't have to be a scientist to understand.
You don't have to be a scientist.
The basics.
To understand the basics.
Of research.
And methodology.
Exactly.
Like, look for things like sample size.
Sample size, control groups, peer review. These are all hallmarks of good research.
And if something seems fishy?
And if something seems fishy...
Don't be afraid to speak up.
Yeah, don't be afraid to speak up.
Like, flag it on social media or contact the publisher.
Exactly. Hold people accountable.
Or reach out to the researchers.
Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Support organizations that are promoting research integrity. Things like the Center for Open Science, Retraction Watch.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, these are all great organizations that are doing really important work.
Okay, so we can stay informed. We can think critically.
Be critical.
And we can support
good science.
Good science. Okay. So where do you see this going in the future? Where do you see AI and research integrity going in the next...
That's the million-dollar question. I don't know. 5, 10 years?
If anyone has a crystal ball, let me know.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure. AI is here to stay.
Great.
And it's only going to play a bigger role in research moving forward.
I think we'll see even more sophisticated tools for
Your sophisticated tools
preventing research misconduct.
For sure, yeah.
But we'll also see AI being used to
enhance
research.
Yeah.
Could AI help us to design better experiments?
I think so, yeah.
Analyze data more effectively.
Yeah.
And even come up with new
questions.
Research questions.
Yeah, think outside the box.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That's where it gets really exciting. Okay. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Right, but as we move forward, we have to keep ethics and responsibility.
Absolutely. Ethics and responsibility have to be
at the forefront.
Front and center.
Of this conversation.
Yes. Front and center. Cannot overemphasize that.
Yeah, that's a good place to wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
But there's still one piece of the puzzle we haven't really explored. Like, how can we as individuals make sure that AI is being used ethically and responsibly?
That's the question.
And what does the future hold for AI and research?
Great questions, big questions.
Yeah.
And we're going to be tackling those head on in the final part of our deep dive. So stay tuned.
All right, see you soon.
See you soon.
So welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into AI and research integrity.
Sounds good.
We've talked about the threats, the tools that people are developing, and the importance of integrity.
Right.
Now I'm kind of curious about like what we can do as individuals.
Right.
Because it feels like this big systemic issue.
It is a huge challenge, but I think even small actions can make a difference.
Okay.
It starts with just being aware of the issues.
Yeah.
And talking about them. Share this deep dive with your friends, your colleagues, just raising awareness.
Okay, so just starting the conversation is a good first step.
Absolutely. Starting the conversation is huge.
What else can we do?
Be discerning consumers of information.
Okay.
We're bombarded with research findings constantly.
Yeah, everywhere. Right.
Everywhere. In the news, on social media, even in advertising.
Yeah.
Don't just take things at face value.
Right.
Question the source. Look for evidence.
Okay.
Be wary of anything that seems too sensational or too good to be true.
So it's about applying that critical thinking to everything we read and see.
Exactly, yeah.
Not just research papers.
Not just research papers.
Okay.
And, you don't have to be a scientist to understand the basics of research methodology.
Right.
Look for things like sample size, control groups, peer review.
These are all good things.
These are the hallmarks of good research.
Okay, and if something seems off, don't be afraid to.
If something seems fishy, speak up.
Yeah, speak up, flag it on social media, or contact the publisher.
Exactly. Or even reach out to the researchers themselves.
Okay, yeah.
Hold people accountable.
Okay.
Support organizations that are promoting research integrity.
Okay, like
the Center for Open Science.
Okay.
Or Retraction Watch.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Those are good ones.
Okay, so we can stay informed, think critically, and support.
And support good science.
Good science.
Support good science.
So where do you see this going in the future?
Right.
Like, where do we go from here with AI and research integrity?
Well, it's hard to say for sure.
Right.
But one thing is for certain.
Okay.
AI is here to stay. And it's only going to play a bigger role in research.
So I think we'll probably see even more sophisticated tools.
I think so, yeah.
For detecting research misconduct.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also for, enhancing research itself.
Enhancing research itself. Think about AI that can help design better experiments.
Right.
Analyze data more effectively. Maybe even ask new research questions.
Like come up with research questions that we
push the boundaries of what we even thought.
Haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. So that's where it gets really exciting.
But as we move forward with all this,
yeah,
we have to keep ethics and responsibility
at the forefront.
At the forefront of the conversation.
To not overemphasize that.
Okay, yeah. This has been really interesting.
It has.
I've learned a lot about the threats and also, the potential that AI has.
The good and the bad.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
The yin and yang.
It's clear that this issue has really big implications for everyone.
Absolutely, and it's an ongoing conversation.
Right.
So we have to stay engaged, keep asking questions, and work together to make sure that AI is used to benefit society.
Okay, yeah, so to our listeners.
Yeah. Keep learning. Stay curious.
Stay curious. And don't be afraid to...
Challenge the status quo.
Challenge the status quo.
Exactly.
The future of research is in our hands.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.